This is the complete honest guide to the IGNOU MAGD project, covering both project courses, MGSP-001 and MGSP-002. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what these two courses are, how they are different, how to choose between an internship and a field-based research project, how to write and submit each report, and how the marks work. So let us answer the main question first. The IGNOU MAGD project is the practical, field-based part of the Master of Arts in Gender and Development Studies. It is not one project. It is two separate project courses, MGSP-001 and MGSP-002, and each one carries 4 credits. In each course, you choose one of 2 routes. You can do an internship in an organization that works on gender and development, or you can do a field-based research project. Either way, it ends in a written report, and that report carries 100% of the marks for that course. Here is the quick picture. MGSP-001 is the first project course, worth 4 credits. MGSP-002 is the second project course, also worth 4 credits. Together, that is 8 credits of project work. In both courses, 100% of the marks come from the report you submit. Both belong to the MAGD program, which is run by the School of Gender and Development Studies, which we say as SOGDS. Before we go further, one important correction, because this single mistake trips up a lot of people. The code MGSP looks a little like the words Gandhi Studies Project, so several websites and even some students wrongly link this project to Gandhi and Peace Studies. That is not correct. MAGD stands for Master of Arts in Gender and Development Studies. MGSP-001 and MGSP-002 are the Gender and Development Project courses. The Gandhi and Peace Studies program is a completely different course with a completely different code. So keep this clear from the start. A little context on the program itself, so you know where the project sits. MAGD is a 2-year master's degree, with a maximum period to finish it as allowed by IGNOU. To join, you need a bachelor's degree in any discipline. It is taught in both English and Hindi, in distance mode. The fee is decided by IGNOU and is revised from time to time, so always check the current fee on the official website. The project courses are what turn all that theory into real, on-the-ground learning. Now let us understand the 2 project courses properly and the one big choice that sits inside each of them. First, MGSP-001. Its full title is Internship-1. Or Field-Based Research Project-1. It carries 4 credits, and it normally belongs to the first year of your MAGD program. Think of it as your first supervised, hands-on engagement with a real gender and development problem. You either intern with an organization working in this field, or you run a small field study, and then you submit one written report for it. Next, MGSP-002. Its full title is Internship-2 or Field-Based Research Project-2. It also carries 4 credits, and it normally falls in the second year. This is a second and usually deeper piece of fieldwork. Many students treat MGSP-001 as the shorter warm-up study and MGSP-002 as the fuller one. But remember, each course is marked on its own separate report. Please verify the exact year placement on your own grade card, as sessions can vary. Let me stress the most common misunderstanding here. MGSP-001 and MGSP-002 are not one combined project. They are 2 separate courses. Each has its own 4 credits, and each has its own report. You get a separate mark for each one. So across your MAGD journey, plan for 2 synopses, 2 field engagements, and 2 reports, not 1. This matters for how you manage your time. Now the big choice inside each course, For MGSP-001 and again for MGSP-002, you pick one of two routes. The internship route means you work with an NGO, a government agency or an institution doing gender and development work. You learn by doing real tasks, and you submit an internship report on what you did and what you learned. This suits you if you can access or already work in such an organization. The field research route means you design and run your own small study on a gender and development question. You collect primary data through surveys, interviews, or observation, and you submit a research project report with your findings. This suits you if you prefer independent research and have a clear question in mind. So how do you decide which route to take? Ask yourself a few simple questions. First, do you already have access to a gender-focused organization? If yes, an internship is the natural fit. Second, do you have a specific research question that you genuinely care about? If yes, lean towards the field research route. Third, think about your time. How much can you give to daily field visits, compared with scheduled internship hours? And whichever route you pick, confirm it with your supervisor before you write your synopsis. Let us now walk through the full life cycle of the MAGD project, from choosing a topic all the way to getting your marks. Here is the whole journey in one view. 1. Choose your route, internship, or field research. 2. Find and confirm a suitable supervisor or guide. 3. Select a gender and development topic. 4. Write your synopsis, which is your project proposal. 5. Submit that proposal for approval to the school. 6. Wait for written approval and do not start the main work before it arrives. 7. Do the internship or collect your field data. 8. Write and format the report properly. 9. Submit the completed report to the school. And 10. Get your result and attend a Viva if you are called. We will now go through the key stages one by one. Let us talk about your supervisor because you need one confirmed before you write the synopsis. Your supervisor should be a person with a suitable postgraduate qualification and relevant experience in gender, development, or the social sciences. This is often an IGNOU academic counselor or a faculty member of a recognized institution. The guide reviews your synopsis, oversees your field work, and signs your final report. Confirm the eligibility early, and please verify the exact supervisor criteria in the MAGD project manual, since schools can differ. We have a separate detailed video on choosing a project guide, linked below. Now, choosing a topic. Whatever route you take, your topic must sit clearly inside gender and development. Here are 10 strong theme areas to spark ideas: women's financial inclusion and self-help groups, gender division of labor in farming households, girls' access to and retention in schooling, women's participation in local self-government, gender and access to healthcare, working conditions of women in the informal sector, gender budgeting in a local scheme or panchayat, women's land and property entitlements, gender-based violence, awareness and response, and women entrepreneurs and micro-enterprise. Pick one that you can actually reach and study in your area. One quick tip on topics. A strong MAGD topic is narrow, local, and doable. Something like women and development in India is far too broad for a student project, but self-help groups and women's savings behavior in one block is focused and researchable. For the full method of narrowing a topic and writing clear objectives, watch our dedicated topic selection and synopsis videos. Here we will only summarize, so we do not repeat that whole lesson. Now the synopsis stage. This is your project proposal, and getting it approved is what unlocks your field work. What goes into the synopsis? Keep it short and clear, usually a few pages. It should include the title of the project, a short introduction and background, a clear statement of the problem, 3 to 5 objectives of the study, a brief review of related literature, your research methodology and tools, your sample and your study area, or the organization for an internship, a tentative chapter plan, the expected outcomes and significance, and references in a consistent style such as APA. One thing students forget and then lose weeks over. Your synopsis must travel with a proposal approval proforma, signed by both you and your supervisor. It must also carry the bio data of your guide. A synopsis sent without a signed proforma or without the guide's bio data is usually not accepted, and it comes straight back. So attach both, sign properly, and always keep a personal copy of everything you send. Now, the question everyone gets wrong: where exactly do you submit your MAGD project? Here is the myth to avoid. Many websites simply copy the MBA rule and tell you to post your project to your regional center or to the registrar of the Student Evaluation Division. For School of Gender and Development Studies programs, that is usually not the route. For MAGD, the project proposal and the report are generally handled by the school directly in a two-stage process. I will show you that address next. But because official routes can be updated, always confirm this against your own MAGD project manual before you post anything. So the MAGD process runs in two stages. Stage 1 is the proposal. You prepare your synopsis, the signed proforma, and the guide's biodata, and you send it to the program coordinator at the school. Then you wait for written approval before you begin any fieldwork, and you keep that approval letter safely. Stage 2 is the report. You complete the internship or the field study, prepare the report with its completion proforma, and send the report to the school as instructed. Note any project reference number you are given, so you can follow up later. Here is the address to keep handy. The Program Coordinator MAGD at the School of Gender and Development Studies. Block 15, Indira Gandhi National Open University, Maidan Garhi, New Delhi, 110068. On the envelope, write your course code clearly, either MGSP-001 or MGSP-002, so it is sorted correctly. And once more, verify the exact coordinator name and block number in your MAGD project manual, because these details are updated from time to time. One golden rule that saves students from redoing everything: do not begin your internship data collection or your field survey until the written approval of your synopsis actually reaches you. If the school asks you to narrow the topic, change the sample, or rewrite your objectives, then any work you did before approval is simply wasted. So the order is fixed. Approval first, field work second. Never the other way round. Now let us build the report itself. This is what carries 100% of your marks. So structure matters. Every report opens with a set of preliminary pages: a title page with your name and enrollment number, a signed certificate of originality, the supervisor certificate, a declaration by you, the student, acknowledgements, a table of contents, a list of tables and figures, and an abstract or executive summary of the whole study. Get these right and your report looks professional from page 1. The body of the report depends on your route, but both follow a clean 5-chapter shape. A field research report runs like this: Chapter 1, Introduction and Objectives. Chapter 2, Review of Literature. Chapter 3, Research Methodology. Chapter 4, Data Analysis and Findings. Chapter 5, Conclusion and Suggestions. An internship report is similar, but Chapter 2 becomes a profile of the organization, and Chapter 3 describes the work you did, or the activities you observed. Chapter 4 is your analysis and reflection, and Chapter 5 is your conclusion and learnings. Finally, the back matter. End with a reference list in one consistent style, and then appendices. That means your questionnaire, your interview guide, any photographs, or your internship certificate. The whole report should be typed on A4 paper in a clean font with 1.5 line spacing, page numbers throughout, and neat binding. For the complete formatting rulebook, watch our dedicated project format video. And please verify the exact required page count and binding style in your project manual. To make all of this concrete, let us look at two worked examples, one internship and one field study. Here is a strong example for MGSP-001, taking the internship route. The title could be An Internship Study of Gender Mainstreaming Practices at a District NGO Working on Women's Livelihoods. In this project, you spend your internship hours at the NGO. You observe how they design women-focused livelihood programs. And you report on how gender is, or is not, mainstreamed in their work, ending with a few practical suggestions. Notice how specific and local it is. And here is a matching example for MGSP-002, taking the field research route. The title could be A Field-Based Study of Women's Access to and Control Over Land in Smallholder Farming Households in a Selected Block. Here you frame your objectives, survey and interview households, and analyze who actually owns land and who decides about it, broken down by gender. You present your findings with clear tables. It is a natural, deeper follow-up to your first project, and it stays firmly inside gender and development. Let us now cover how the project is assessed, and when you should submit. How are the marks worked out? For each course, 100% of the assessment is on the report you submit. PKRB Sabintobi Sazam. MGSP-001 gives 4 credits and MGSP-002 gives 4 credits, each assessed separately. You need at least the minimum pass grade set by IGNOU for the project. A Viva, that is an oral discussion of your work, may be conducted at the school's discretion. Please confirm the exact pass mark and the Viva rule for your own session, as these can change. On timing, IGNOU projects are generally accepted through the year and linked to the June and December result cycles. The smart move is to submit early so that approval and evaluation both finish comfortably before your final term. Because the exact cutoff dates change every single session, do not rely on any fixed date you read online. Always check the current submission dates on the official website and with your regional center. Before we finish, here are the mistakes that cost MAGD students the most time. Treating MGSP-001 and MGSP-002 as one project. Picking a topic that drifts outside gender and development. Choosing a topic far too broad to actually study. Starting fieldwork before your approval arrives. Forgetting the signed Proforma or the guide's biodata. Posting to the regional center by mistake instead of the school. Copying text and ignoring plagiarism limits, and submitting late and missing the result cycle. Avoid these 8 and you are already ahead. Let us answer the honest judgment questions now. Is this project hard? And is MAGD actually worth it? So, is the MAGD project hard? Honestly, it is very doable. It rewards planning far more than brilliance. A focused topic, an approved synopsis, honest field work, and a clean report will carry you through. And the 2-course structure actually helps you. MGSP-001 lets you learn the whole process on a smaller study before you attempt the fuller MGSP-002. Treat the first as practice for the second. And what about career scope? A master's in gender and development, backed by real field projects, opens several doors. In the NGO and development sector, there are roles in gender, women's livelihoods, and community programs. For those drawn to research and teaching, it is a solid base for an MPhil, a PhD, and academic work. In government and policy, there is gender budgeting, planning, and welfare scheme work. And in advocacy and media, there is communication, editing, and campaign work on gender issues. Your field projects become real talking points in interviews. One more common worry. Is the MAGD degree recognized and valid? Yes. IGNOU is a central university, and its degrees are recognized by the UGC for higher study and widely accepted for public sector eligibility. For any specific job or exam, you should always check that employer's exact eligibility wording. But the qualification itself is a genuine recognized master's degree, so you can study with confidence. Let us close with the question students ask most. First, do I have to do an internship, or can both projects be research? You may choose the field-based research route for both MGSP-001 and MGSP-002 if you prefer. The internship is one option, not a compulsion. Just confirm your choice with your supervisor. Second, do the two courses need two separate reports? Yes, they do. They are two separate 4-credit courses, so you submit one report for each, and each is graded on its own. Third, where do I submit the regional center or the school? For MAGD, the proposal and the report are generally routed to the school at Maidan Garhi, not the regional center. Always confirm this against your project manual. Fourth, is a Viva compulsory for these courses? A Viva may be conducted at the school's discretion, so be ready to explain your objectives, your methods, and your findings, but confirm the exact rule for your session. Fifth, how long should each report be? There is no single fixed length. A focused field report of roughly 60 to 80 typed pages is common, but you should follow the page range given in your own project manual. And finally, can I reuse one topic for both courses? No. Each course needs its own distinct study. Use MGSP-001 for a smaller study and MGSP-002 for a different and usually deeper one. Let us quickly recap your whole MAGD project in 10 points. 1. MAGD is Gender and Development, not Gandhi. 2. MGSP-001 and MGSP-002 are two 4-credit projects. 3. Each report carries 100% of the marks. 4. Choose internship or field research for each course. 5. Confirm a supervisor before the synopsis. 6. Get written approval before any fieldwork. 7. Submit to the school, not the regional center. 8. Follow the 5-chapter report structure. 9. Submit 2 separate reports on time. And 10. Verify every figure on the official website. If you would like help, here is what we offer. At IGNOUproject.com, we have guided IGNOU students since 2010. For MGSP-001 and MGSP-002, we offer synopsis and report guidance and reference samples on request. Just message us on WhatsApp at +91 93546 37830. Tell us your program and your topic, and we will help you plan both projects the right way. That is your complete guide to the IGNOU MAGD project, covering both MGSP-001 and MGSP-002. If it helped, please subscribe to Shri Chakradhar Education for more program-wise IGNOU project guides. And remember, always verify every official detail on the IGNOU website before you submit. Good luck. You can absolutely do this.